Mhm.
Yes. Hey, welcome everybody to Monday's Lunch and Learn. That's Will here today. I'll give everyone a couple minutes to filter in. We do have one pre-submitted question for today from Emmeline. Right. Is it still just 12:01? No, 12:02 now. Yeah, time really crawls when you're waiting for people to join a webinar. Okay, so here we go. Here's a question from Emmeline. Put this in the chat here for us. We might have a bit of a light crowd today. Change the colors in each state in the folder activity. Okay. So let's get ourselves a case. The folder flow execution extension would work as well. Property and save. Right, so if I look, let me add one of these now. Case test one. So there's my case. So now I have started and completed are my states. Now, I think you're gonna have to do this for all of them together. I don't, oh, no, never mind. Ah, look at that. So when you create a data type, like a flow execution extension or a case, you're gonna get a configuration folder with this case editor option here, which will show you the expected states, and you can add new states here. Once you have it, you can click this sort of drop this arrow thing and click edit, and then change the color. I'll change this to like some kind of purple. Now, is that retroactive? If I come back into this case, it won't. But if I add a new case manually, see that started is now purple. So you can control the cases. Oh, hey, Emily, I'll go ahead and allow you to talk here. I'm answering your question about how to change case state colors. So just to confirm, the colors you're asking about, I believe, are the ones here in the activity panel of the case or the flow execution extension folder. Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
So
But
here,
I'm actually not using a case entity. I'm using a flow execution extension.
it should be exactly the same.
Oh,
So what I've done is I'm in the configuration folder for my data type. And then you should see on the top here, case editor as an option. And this shows you the expected states for your process. And if you click into this, you should be able, there's an edit action. And that should allow you to modify the color of that state. And when you set that, any new cases that you create will inherit that color in the activity panel.
So means I need to also set the state in the configuration folder of the flow execution extension.
Correct. You can set this for all, I think you can do this for all states, I think, under Designer Studio settings. If you wanted everything, I think there's some colors in here. Yeah, state colors. So if you want to do it for everything, you can, under Designer Studio settings, you can see state colors, but these are just ordered. So the first state would be yellow, the second state would be green, and it just gives you an arbitrary limit of 16. If you want to specify specific colors for specific states, you would do that in the configuration folder for your flow execution extension in the case editor tab here by finding the expected state, or by adding it if you don't have it, right? And then clicking edit and then changing the color.
Okay, all right, cool, thanks.
Yeah, you bet. And then you have why is your folder not showing in the portal? The permission is set to the user group.
Yeah, actually, I'm not sure why it's not showing on the portal. I'll try to set also the permission for each of the folders. I'll also try to show, set the visibility in the portal. Oh, yeah, but it's not showing there.
Is it a designer folder?
It is inside a designer folder, yes. Is that?
Okay, so one option is on a folder is if you go to manage, let me actually add a folder here, just a moment. There is a set portal visibility, user portal visibility, hide and show. Right now, if it's, go ahead.
Yep. I also set this.
You have already set this?
Yep.
Okay. What level of permissions does your user have? Do they have can open, can view?
Yes.
Is an admin able to see it? And just not a regular user?
Admin can see it. Yes. Does it, okay, if I create a user group, does it need to be under all users as well?
I'm so sorry, can you ask that question again?
So I created a user group for this group of users and set the permission to the folder to this user group, and then can use, can open, can view, can edit. I said this on the how do you call it? It is in the top folder. Then but this folder is inside the designer folder. Is that an issue?
It might be. It shouldn't be. It should be fine. As long as they can, as long as show, the user reported visibility is show, and they have can view permissions. You could just try moving it to the root just to see if it has a behavior change. If you go to manage, make a move folder to root, and then you could test to see if that has any change for you.
Okay, sure.
Okay, and then your question is about what is the number one, the counter on the filter here?
Yeah. What is it? Yep. This.
Yeah.
Is it the filter?
It's showing you the count of filters that are currently applied. So right now there's a sort by. So maybe I added a
I
second
see.
sort by.
Okay.
It's, hold on, maybe not. Let me see. Yeah, okay, it's not, well, let me get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, there's one. Looks like it's supposed to increment the count again, but it's for this sort by, it's the number of applied filters currently is what the count is.
Okay. Can these be hidden in the CSS?
I'm sorry, can you ask that question again?
Can this be hidden? This number, can this be hidden through a CSS? Because the feedback from our users is
Hmm.
misleading, it's confusing. That's why they ask this question. But I'm just wondering whether
Yeah, I'm sure we
CSS
can.
we could, yeah.
Might have to manually do it, but let's just, oh, good Lord. I didn't mean to do that. Our report grid viewer. Let's see if we can set this in their less files first things first. So system theme editor and user portal. Let's just search for report. Now you want them, you just want only the number to be hidden, right? Not the whole thing.
Yes, that's right. That's the number. Just the number.
Filter action. Can I search for filter action? Filter action. There. Nothing there. Editable filters count color, background. All right. Oh, it's only options. Well, let's just say if we set it to this. Okay. And that didn't seem to do anything, did it? Okay. I'm probably gonna have to ask maybe the support team to help out here. I'm not sure I'll be able to sort this out. I'm just gonna try a hard refresh here and see if that does anything. Yeah, and see. Oh, maybe it's only end user portal. Still there. Okay. Yeah, I think we can. But let me ask the support team to figure out and advise specifically on how we might do that for you. Someone. But yeah, we can write CSS or use a theme editor to hide that for you.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. Happy to help. All right, and Jeremy, sir, you're up next. Let me put this in the chat here. Right, I'm building a project in Decisions to replace an old outdated system. In this process, I will need to pull in the data from that old system's DB tables into Decisions data structures. One table I will be processing currently has over 250,000 rows. What's the best way to process this amount of data? So is the question how to, like you want to actually bring that 250,000 rows into a local Decisions database table?
Correct. We'll be
Okay.
getting rid of this database once all of our old systems are moved into new systems.
Okay. And you just want to bring it over whole cloth, like just the whole table over?
No, I'll need to manipulate a little bit of the data because I don't need
Okay.
all of the fields that are in that table. I just
Right.
need a handful off of each row.
Okay. I mean, it'll take a little bit of time. I just build a flow that fetches the rows, and then you could just loop through a create step for the database structure you're creating. What type of data type in Decisions are you creating to hold this stuff?
It'd just be a basic database table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah, I mean, like, are you wanting to connect to that database and bring it over, or you want to manually bring it over one time? Like, what's your preferred approach?
I really don't know. Haven't manipulated this. I haven't really pulled data from another structure into Decisions before, so I just didn't know what the best course of action, especially for how much data there is. I didn't want to overload the system.
It should be fine. I mean, the question is how long it'll take, right? Like,
Yeah.
but if you want to just it's pretty simple flow. If you just want to let it run, maybe for a
I just
bit,
didn't know if
just
it
to do
was
its
just to
work.
let them loop one by one or do chunking and a for each for chunking or anything. If that might be, I didn't know if that was what the best option would be for that.
I think a normal loop is fine here if it's a one-time import and you don't actually care about performance. Like if this was a recurrent like process and we had time constraints or SLAs in terms of responsiveness that we need to hit, I'd say, yeah, let's look at using batch insert or something. But if it's just a one-time data load, I would just make a database table connection to the existing table. I would create my data structure. I would use a get all from the table integration for each that, and then just run that to a create step for my my database table.
Okay.
And then just loop it and let it run for a while. I mean, no, it's going to take a little bit of time, right? But depending on the latency between the decision server and that database server, or that SQL server. But yeah, that's what I would recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have way more performant like insert patterns, some of which aren't hard to use, but you probably spend more time kind of building the flow to kind of get it to work, which probably doesn't have a lot of ROI if it's just a one-time data load.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Happy to help. Okay, small crew here today. Anybody else have questions for us?
Hello. Hello.
Yes?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just have one more question.
Sure.
Because I'm building a POC and I realized that when I'm trying to select a record from a report viewer, am I allowed to share my screen just to?
Let me make you a presenter just a minute here, then you can share.
All right.
And you should be, Emily, you should be a presenter now if you want to share your screen.
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. So I have this report viewer here, and I have this folder. But when I try to select, oops, not this one. I'm trying to navigate this one. We always come from the side.
Mhm.
But what I would like to do is I don't want I I don't want this to slide here. I
Yeah.
just want to right click and do the action.
Yeah, there is a designer studio setting for this. Let me find out what the name is. If it is action something. Get integration. Yeah, if you go to designer studio settings and then search for action. Yep, search for action here. And then row left click action type where it says show slider. You want to change that to show actions. And then click save. Possibly need to refresh your browser after this, but that should make the left click that's not on the actual leftmost column, which is the link. That should make the actions show. Yeah.
Right. Cool. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. I'll go ahead and send you back to being a participant here. All right. Any other questions from anyone in the community today? Stuff back up now. All right, getting close to 12:30 here. Anybody else have any other questions? If not, we'll go ahead and call it an afternoon. All righty. All right, thanks, everybody. I'll be here same time tomorrow if you have additional questions. Great afternoon.